This year is 2326, high in the mountains of the Samhan Empire's outpost territory. A frantic chase erupts through the wilderness, his pursuers screaming that failure means death. Fleeing for his life through the dense forest, the man has no idea why he is being hunted. Pure terror grips him as he desperately questions the reason for this sudden execution order. His pursuers scream his name, Kim Tae-ju, just as a sudden, sharp pain seizes him, causing his vision to explode into a blinding white light. It is his heart giving out again, a familiar and agonizing failure in a critical moment. This seizure brings Second Lieutenant Kim Tae-ju to his knees at the edge of a cliff. A fellow officer approaches, mockingly pointing out he knew Kim Tae-ju's condition would stop him. This platoon leader, Jang In-dong, sneers that Kim Tae-ju is just a dying rejecter. With his squad behind him, the leader has our boy completely cornered on the precipice. Desperate and confused, Kim Tae-ju screams for an explanation, demanding to know his crime. But the leader just scoffs, calling him trash who should have died long ago. Revealing this execution is because Kim Tae-ju somehow annoyed the mysterious His Excellency. And at that name, Kim Tae-ju realizes this is all connected to Honda Mitsui. A man in a military beret issues a chilling warning about respecting their superior stepmother. Without another word, the superior officer swings his blade down with lethal intent. Our boy stares in utter disbelief, caught completely off guard by the sudden assault. With glowing eyes, the officer reveals his true, murderous intentions for our boy. His blade connects in a brutal, decisive strike, sending a spray of red into the air. Leaving our hero's body to fall lifelessly to the ground, the deed seemingly done. A cruel smirk reveals the motive. The Paju estate will now be inherited by Lady Mitsui's sons. His life seemingly ends as his body is tossed over a cliff into the wilderness below. This story then shifts, jumping back 300 years to a bustling city in the year 2026. On that fateful day, the sun was suddenly blotted from the sky by a mysterious eclipse. From the heavens, a strange new energy called mana descended upon the entire world. Its arrival was catastrophic, instantly wiping out 90% of all humanity in the chaos. Cities crumbled and the climate shifted, leading to the complete collapse of civilization. Over the next 3 centuries, survivors adapted to this new energy, slowly rebuilding society from the ruins. But this new world came with a price. Gates opened, unleashing monstrous beasts and beginning a new war for survival. A new social order has emerged from war, a hierarchy built entirely on mana aptitude. At the pinnacle of this society stands the powerful Brigadier General Kim Eunbang and his family, but his eldest son Kim Tae-ju is a mana rejecter, an outcast slowly dying from poison. Elsewhere, a being who strove for immortality finds himself not in the celestial realm he expected. Instead, he is surrounded by a bizarre cityscape, demanding to know where he is. This ancient man with a white mustache simply smiles, addressing the person before him. It is Kim Tae-ju, floating in this strange space with what should be a fatal wound. Stunned, our boy opens his eyes, realizing he is not actually dead after all. Before a grand temple stands the old master, a being of immense power in this void, commanding Kim Tae-ju to rise while effortlessly lifting him with a surge of green energy. Their faces are juxtaposed as the kid stares in utter confusion at this powerful entity. For this is the absolute poison demon Tang Gunak, head of the legendary Sichuan Tang clan. A master of poisons and hidden weapons, he once faced a demonic cult threatening the world, and this was the legendary man who stood alone against the cult's overwhelming forces. In the end, he dissolved the heavenly demon itself with a handful of his signature toxic sludge. This elder reveals his ambition to rule the Murim, a destiny tied to their shared soul. In his final years, he meditated at his mountain estate, seeking to achieve ethereal ascent, a process of shedding his mortal coil to become a true immortal being. During this ritual, his soul unexpectedly became intertwined with another across dimensions. And the instant they recognized each other, the elder's memories began flooding into the kid, leaving Kim Tae-ju stunned, questioning if this man, Tang Gunak, is another version of himself. Tang Gunak confirms their connection, now seeing the memories of his counterpart from Earth, witnessing a life filled with scorn despite possessing the same powerful soul. A life shackled by the label of rejecter, causing him to be despised by everyone around him. Within their shared mental realm, Tang Gunak finally understands their predicament, offering to give Kim Tae-ju all of his experience and martial knowledge, promising that with this power he too can become the absolute ruler of his world. This elder bestows this immense power upon him to be used however he sees fit. Returning to the forest where Kim Tae-ju collapses as the energy transfer completes, and a final voice echoes in his mind, wishing him luck on his new path. This name of the poison master echoes in his mind, the memory still fresh. Lying in the forest, he understands the encounter was real, the knowledge now his own. With a desperate crawl, his only thought is survival, a new path now open to him. To live, he must master the poison art, a technique that grows stronger by consuming toxins. Fortunately, the surrounding wilderness provides the very thing he needs, poisonous herbs. This toxins course through him, causing his body to convulse in agony on the forest floor. Driven by the will to live, he forces the toxic plants down his throat, using the new technique to convert the lethal substance into internal energy within his core, a process that will shatter the very chains that made him a rejecter. And with glowing green eyes, he swears to repay his betrayers tenfold, starting with Jang In-dong. Under the full moon, his pursuers are ordered to confirm the kill before leaving the area. This search party scours the forest floor, but their target is nowhere to be found. An infuriated Jang In-dong demands to know why finding a single corpse is taking so long, until a flashlight beam falls upon Kim Tae-ju alive and waiting for them. A strange, powerful energy radiates from him, leaving his pursuers to wonder who they are now facing. Kim Tae-ju channels a strange green energy, realizing it is not mana but pure poison. This platoon leader scoffs in disbelief, ordering his men to finish the rejector quickly. But our boy rises to his feet, the toxic energy swirling around him with newfound strength. His eyes close for a moment as he senses the power flowing through him, while his enemy's blade glows with mana, ready for another lethal strike. And Kim Tae-ju's eyes snap open, filled with a cold, unfamiliar confidence. This leader's sword comes crashing down, only to be stopped by our boy's bare hand. Leaving the entire squad completely stunned by this impossible feat of strength, Kim Tae-ju stares at his own hand, recognizing the feeling of internal energy, and clenches his fist, a surge of raw power coursing through his veins. With this newfound strength, he knows he can finally get his revenge on his betrayers. He stands tall, a confident smirk replacing the fear he felt just moments ago, which makes the leader suspicious, questioning this sudden awakening without the usual tattoo. Our boy simply scoffs at the term awakening, knowing his power is something else entirely. A system where awakened individuals are ranked and marked by a tattoo on their face. Using his new insight, Kim Tae-ju sizes up Jang In-dong, seeing him as a mere third-rate warrior. Jang In-dong mocks him, asking for his last words, but is met with unexpected defiance. From his pocket, Kim Tae-ju reveals several golden-bladed implements, ready for a fight. A strange green aura erupts around him as he lunges, vowing to repay their treachery. His other soldiers look on in confusion, mocking his choice of weapon as a sign of madness. Unnerved, Jang In-dong orders the squad to attack together, vowing to end this now. A strange calm washes over him, his mind clear despite this being his first real fight. He attributes this newfound composure to the flood of memories from Tang Gunnak. Though his body rejects mana, the path of the poison demon offers a new source of power. A surge of confidence fills him as his eyes glow with a venomous green energy. He unleashes his first technique, a poison blade art, sending the golden projectiles spinning through the air. Moving with impossible speed, the blades cut through the air toward the charging squad, and one of the soldiers is struck down, his expression frozen in utter disbelief. In a blur of motion, he weaves through their ranks, a whirlwind of deadly green energy. His very hands now crackle with potent, toxic power, ready to finish the fight. With newfound power, Kim Tae-ju unleashes a devastating blood poison palm on his attacker, this toxic energy erupting outwards and sending the man flying back into the trees. Stunned by the attack, the platoon leader whirls around in disbelief at the impossible sight. While another soldier takes aim with his firearm, desperately screaming for Kim Tae-ju's death, our boy simply stares down the barrel, completely unfazed by the immediate and lethal threat. As the weapon discharges, his new toxic aura effortlessly deflects the powerful incoming blast, leaving him standing completely untouched amidst the swirling energy of the poison demon. To his enhanced senses, the frantic movements of his enemies now seem laughably slow. And with blinding speed, he closes the distance between them in an instant, appearing before the terrified platoon leader who demands to know what is happening to him. Kim Tae-ju coldly explains that against the poison demon's art, even the powerful are helpless, a fact that baffles the leader, who sees no skill tattoo on our boy's body. Mocking his former superior, the kid asks how it feels to be on the receiving end. Taunting him with the same filthy humiliation he was once forced to endure himself, and the once arrogant officer now grovels on the ground, pathetically begging for his life. With a poison-laced grip, Kim Tae-ju seizes the platoon leader by the throat, his enemy's eyes widening in pure, unadulterated terror, effortlessly lifting the once arrogant officer into the air as toxic energy swirls around them. Jang In-dong desperately tries to leverage his connections, asking if he knows who is backing him, but his words are cut short as the poison grip tightens, choking out his threats. A cold, merciless glare from Kim Tae-ju's glowing eyes promises a painful end, leaving him standing victorious amidst the bodies of his fallen pursuers. A simple, satisfied smirk crosses his face, the first taste of vengeance sweet, vowing that he has no intention of disappearing quietly ever again. This story then shifts to the Samhan Empire, a new nation forged from the ashes of the Mana upheaval. And within this empire lies Paju, Kim Tae-ju's barren hometown and the seat of his family's power. Inside a lavish office, an officer reports on an assassination attempt within the military unit, confirming that Lieutenant Jang In-dong and his squad were the ones who attacked Kim Tae-ju, explaining that our boy barely survived before being discharged and going missing. While Jang and his men were conveniently reported as being killed by monsters during their escape, in his office, Brigadier General Kim Eungbang receives a report on his son's assassination attempt. Learning the hit was commissioned by officers with ties to the Japanese, and a single name comes to his mind in frustration: Honda Mitsui, his own wife and the mother of Kim Tae-ju's two ambitious half-brothers, a woman who always wanted the Mana rejector to die for her son's inheritance. Growing impatient with his survival, she finally ordered the hit through her family in Kyushu. A foolish move since the general knew Tae-ju was already dying from his condition anyway. But with his own territory in a difficult situation, he decides to cover it all up, choosing to protect the alliance with her powerful family over his own son's life. His rationale is simple: the rejector's death from mana overload was always inevitable. And though his wife crossed a line, he prioritizes the future of his other two sons. With Kim Tae-ju now officially missing, he coldly decides to never search for him again, granting his son a twisted freedom from the family that betrayed him. Elsewhere, in a completely different dimension, islands of rock and earth float among the clouds, revealing the breathtaking landscape of the legendary immortal realm. This story shifts back to the absolute poison demon in his ethereal realm of floating islands. Here, Tang Gun-ak reflects that he has been in this place for a while, a feat only possible through Kim Tae-ju. Through their soul sharing, he gained knowledge of Earth, a bizarre world of monsters and technology. This new perspective granted him a final enlightenment during his long meditation, allowing his mortal body to finally dissolve as he achieved the ascension he'd always sought. But his dream of a celestial realm was quickly shattered by a harsh reality. For this supposed paradise was actually a prison for the most powerful and unruly masters, a chaotic world where legendary figures flew through the skies in a mad frenzy. He even clashes with a so-called sword immortal, realizing they are all just as crazy, lamenting that he wasted his life only to end up among beasts with no human decency. Still, their shared connection across dimensions offers a new opportunity, a silver lining. And so Tang Gun-ak turns his attention back to his counterpart Kim Tae-ju. While he was a ruler, the kid was an outcast, and he hopes this power brings him happiness, giving him a final goal to reach the 7th star of the primordial poison spirit art, promising they will meet again once Kim Tae-ju has grown strong enough to learn more. A memory surfaces of Tang Gun-ak, shocked to find his rival even in this prison. This rival mocks his flying daggers, boasting of his superior telekinetic sword arts. Enraged, the poison master gives chase, vowing to kill the arrogant swordsman for his insolence. Back in the present, a red-haired woman battles a horde of monsters with a flaming whip, and she screams a warning for her companion to get down from the danger. But as she fends off a massive orc, another threat appears from behind. Kim Tae-ju watches with cold, calculating eyes, showing no hint of concern, before suddenly striking the woman himself, sending her reeling in shock, his swift kick knocking her completely out of the fight. With his eyes glowing green, he decides to show them all a true hidden weapon technique, unleashing the legendary flying dagger art he inherited from the poison demon, sending a barrage of golden projectiles not at the woman but at the charging monsters. This projectiles rain down from above, a deadly storm of perfectly aimed strikes, and Kim Tae-ju lands with ease as his attack finds its mark across the battlefield, leaving both the monsters and the woman defeated in a single devastating move. He looks down at the unconscious woman, realizing he knocked her out while trying to save her. Surveying the carnage, he worries that a porter's victory will draw unwanted attention from his family, and knows he must quickly clean up the scene before anyone else arrives. A confident smirk crosses his face as he reflects on how Tang Gun-ak changed his life completely, and with the battle over, he prepares to retrieve his expensive golden projectiles from the field. This tedious task of collecting his scattered weapons begins, a major downside to his new art. Remembering that automatic retrieval is a high-level skill, he suddenly realizes one blade is missing. He scans the dense forest, trying to recall the trajectory of the final missing projectile, and after a brief search, he finally spots it embedded deep within a tree trunk. But as he reaches for it, a strange, giant red mosquito-like monster suddenly appears before him, his eyes narrowing with focus as he instantly analyzes this new and unexpected threat. With a casual flick of his finger, he unleashes a burst of poison energy, obliterating the creature. Examining the dead insect, he notes this mutant mosquito is far from its usual habitat, and a thought strikes him as he looks at the woman. This might be the same bug from earlier, confirming his suspicion as he recalls the mutant mosquito biting her on the neck. Kim Tae-ju analyzes the mosquito's poison, realizing it scatters internal energy and negates mana, a toxin that reminds him of the energy-scattering poison from Tang Gun-ak's martial world. And with no known antidote, the dangerous venom is a threat only countered by protective gear. But using his new knowledge, he believes he can create a cure with Earth's herbs. To understand its components, Kim Tae-ju makes a risky choice and tastes the dead insect, grimacing for a moment as he processes the potent and unfamiliar flavor of the poison. A strange sensation spreads through him, the venom's properties becoming clear to his enhanced senses. And with a confident smirk, he realizes this discovery will make him incredibly rich. His next move is to test the theory, ready to leave the forest immediately, when suddenly his senses pick up on an unexpected and powerful presence approaching. An enormous elite orc appears from the trees, towering over him with a massive axe, its red eyes glaring down, filled with pure and unbridled killing intent. Kim Tae-ju recognizes it as an awakened beast, a creature of myth he'd only heard of, leaving him to wonder what could be happening on MT, Jiri to attract so many monsters, and the elite orc roars, raising its weapon for a devastating downward strike. A hulking orc chieftain charges forward, swinging a massive, brutal axe, its weapon crashing down with enough force to split the very earth beneath it. Kim Tae-ju narrowly dodges, realizing this monster is on a completely different level. Deciding to test its defenses, he prepares another volley of his golden daggers. And with a swift kick, he unleashes the single flash technique at his target. This golden projectile streak through the air, aimed directly at the recovering beast, but they spark harmlessly against an unseen barrier protecting the monster's body. His daggers simply bounce off, unable to pierce its incredibly tough hide. Just as he suspected, his standard attacks are completely ineffective against this foe, leaving him to reconsider his strategy as the monster rises to its feet once more. This beast's eyes glow with a menacing red light, its rage now fully focused on him, making him think that only a direct hit with his poison palm will be enough to stop it. For a moment, however, he hesitates, a bead of sweat tracing down his face. He scolds himself for his weakness, imagining Tang Gunak's disappointment in him, realizing he got too cocky and must now use the full extent of his poison arts. Vowing to beat his enemy down until it falls, Kim Tae-ju leaps forward with venomous intent, unleashing the devastating Blood Seal Poison Palm, the true way of the poison demon. But a massive orc warrior meets his charge, swinging a colossal axe to crush him. Their powers collide in a blinding flash of green energy that tears through the forest, and the sheer force of the blow sends Kim Tae-ju reeling backwards from the impact. A pillar of toxic power erupts from the ground, shattering the very landscape around them, leaving the monster's giant axe completely broken on the forest floor. Despite this, the towering orc remains unharmed, looming over the exhausted Kim Tae-ju, who realizes his powerful attack failed to inflict any significant damage on the beast, a setback that only hardens his resolve to strike again and again until it falls. But just as the orc prepares to finish him, a mysterious black blade flashes into view, and in an instant the monster is shredded by a flurry of lightning-fast red slashes. Kim Tae-ju can only watch in stunned silence, completely bewildered by the sudden turn of events, questioning how an elite-level monster could be butchered with such impossible ease. Before him stands a mysterious swordsman, whose master-rank skill has saved him but also revealed a new threat. This mysterious savior calls out, forcing Kim Tae-ju to quickly think of an excuse for his presence, and he gestures to the butchered monster, demanding to know if our boy was responsible for the kill. Noting his lack of an awakener's mark, he scoffs at how a nobody could slaughter so many orcs, leaving Kim Tae-ju sweating under the man's intense and deeply suspicious gaze. This man is Lee Young-hak, a guild master and vigilante captain with immense authority. Recognizing the master-rank power, Kim Tae-ju chooses his words carefully, starting with thanks for the save. At that moment, another party arrives, calling out in concern for a Mr. Kim, but Kim Tae-ju cleverly deflects, saying he was worried about the cargo, referring to Young-hak. This lead porter looks on in utter confusion, not understanding the strange deflection, while his companions immediately recognize the master and apologize profusely for their delay. This porter begins explaining to Kim Tae-ju that their city is governed by a special committee, and that Lee Young-hak is one of its 3 most powerful members, a master-rank leader. He mentions paying tribute to Young-hak's guild before being sharply told to be quiet, then pushes Kim Tae-ju forward, insisting he thank the man for his help. Lee Young-hak's eyes narrow, questioning how a mere porter survived a massacre he did not cause. Kim Tae-ju plays the part of a lucky porter, claiming a powerful mage wiped out all the orcs, and the mysterious master's companion reports the survivor is secured as they prepare to leave, so the swordsman agrees to depart, turning his back on the scene of the battle. As the group of 3 walks away, Kim Tae-ju is left behind with another porter, but the master turns back with a smirk, giving a veiled threat to not cause any trouble, warning that next time he will not be so merciful as to leave him in one piece. This other porter nervously explains that the master is a man you do not want to cross, yet Kim Tae-ju just smiles, revealing the so-called master is actually a corrupt captain, one who only patrols to maintain his reputation rather than to actually help anyone. With the powerful hunters gone, the 2 porters decide to retrieve their cargo and leave. But alone with his thoughts, Kim Tae-ju admits he was in real danger before being saved. Realizing he'd grown arrogant and reckless since gaining his new abilities a month ago, he feels ashamed for letting Tang Gunak down, vowing things will be different now, and with his eyes glowing green, he swears to become undeniably stronger. Their destination is Gurai, a city where his new resolve will soon be tested. In this dangerous city, proper hospitals are scarce since most doctors avoid the area, and the few medical professionals who do show up are often untrustworthy quacks on the run. This has led to a booming business for pharmacies, the primary source of reliable medicine, where pharmacists hold special authority to prescribe and sell approved drugs directly, a system that thrives because citizens trust proven medication over sketchy hospitals. It is into this market that Kim Tae-ju arrives, ready to sell his new mosquito poison antidote, a cure he spent an entire month perfecting while balancing his porter job with intense training. This effort paid off, allowing him to reach the 3rd stage of his poison arts. Now, with his powerful new product, he is confident his money troubles are finally over. He steps into a local drugstore, the bell on the door announcing his arrival, finding the shop bustling with customers, including a heavily armored hunter looking for supplies. Approaching the counter, he asks the clerk a simple question: is the owner around? This young woman seems taken aback by his unusual inquiry, looking at him with surprise. But with a confident smirk, Kim Tae-ju reveals his true purpose. He is not here to buy but to sell. His bold declaration piques her interest, a curious smile spreading across her face. A thoughtful drugstore owner listens to an unseen visitor's request. This man, Baek Hongpyo, runs both the store and an orphanage. And Kim Tae-ju steps forward, explaining he is here to sell a drug he created himself. This owner sighs in annoyance, assuming our boy is just another common peddler. Dismissing him completely, he suggests Kim Tae-ju go find real work elsewhere. Undeterred, Kim Tae-ju presents a small bottle, claiming it is a mutant mosquito antidote, catching the owner's attention just as he was turning away uninterested. His sharp gaze returns to the kid, demanding to know what he just said. With a confident smile, Kim Tae-ju repeats his claim about the rare antidote. Bi Kongpyo's eyes narrow with deep suspicion, scrutinizing the unbelievable offer. While our boy places the bottle on the counter, explaining it is a preventative cure, he even claims its protective effects can last for up to 10 hours, a bold statement that only seems to fuel the owner's disbelief and anger. Bi Kongpyo finally snaps, accusing him of being a cheeky brat trying to pull a scam. Unfazed by the outburst, Kim Tae-ju simply places 2 more bottles on the counter. Kim Tae-ju offers a card, telling the owner to test the antidote and call if interested. Giving him a strict deadline, he has until midnight tonight to make a decision. With a final wave, he warns that he will take his business elsewhere if the owner does not call, leaving the entire pharmacy in a stunned and awkward silence after his departure. This owner can only stare in disbelief, wondering if the kid is completely out of his mind. But the armored hunter seems intrigued, picking up a bottle to examine the supposed antidote. And this raid team leader, Park Jin-soo, asks the owner if the kid's claim is legitimate. Bi Kongpyo remains silent, his expression a mask of pure skepticism and doubt. Taking the bottle from the hunter, the owner admits he is not sure what to believe, but decides there is only one way to know for sure: they have to test it. He internally doubts the claim, knowing top companies failed, but the kid's confidence is unnerving. Just as the clerk tries to stop the hunter, who insists on testing it himself right now. This owner's eyes widen in alarm as he realizes what the reckless hunter plans to do, and he yells in protest as Jin-soo chugs the entire bottle of the unverified substance. In a single, decisive gulp, the mysterious antidote goes down his throat. This armored hunter tastes the antidote, immediately dismissing it as nothing but plain water. Bi Kongpyo echoes the hunter's words, his expression hardening with suspicion, and turning to the man, he asks if a known potion user like him feels any effect at all. With a dismissive smirk, the hunter confirms he feels nothing, just the taste of water. Convinced it is a scam, he tosses the bottle in the trash, telling the owner to get rid of the rest. Staring at the remaining bottles, Bi Kongpyo wonders if he was fooled by a common scammer. His basket full of supplies, the hunter now asks the clerk to ring up his purchase. Now leaving, he explains to the clerk he is heading out, delayed by testing the fake drug. After paying a hefty bill, the hunter leaves, unaware of the contact info on the discarded bottle. As the shop's bell chimes, the armored man departs for his dangerous expedition. Left alone, Bi Kongpyo sighs, convinced the idea of a mosquito antidote was always nonsense. Meanwhile, deep in the wilderness, the sounds of a fierce battle echo through the trees. A vicious, fanged beast lunges forward, its roar tearing through the evening air. In response, a powerful shield reinforcement skill activates, blocking the monster's assault. Revealing the same hunter from the store, now screaming as a blade-toothed marten appears. A female swordswoman lets out a fierce battle cry, raising her blade against an unseen enemy, while her companion in the back urges a retreat, shouting that the path is finally clear. But she reveals she's been poisoned by mosquito venom, her body already starting to go numb. This team's leader grits his teeth, refusing to fall back until they kill their target. Suddenly, his eyes widen in complete and utter disbelief at what he sees. A mutant mosquito appears before him, a creature he was not prepared to face. This insect lands a bite on his neck, its venom threatening to scatter his mana and paralyze him. And looking at his fallen comrades, he knows if he goes down, the entire team is wiped out. His thoughts race back, wondering how their hunt went so wrong despite their bug-proof suits. It all started when a vicious blade-toothed marten ambushed them in a different hunting ground. Its surprise attack instantly shredding their protective gear and leaving them exposed. He blames himself for panicking as a leader, a mistake that led to him getting hit. After being swarmed by mosquitoes, they had attempted a desperate retreat through the forest, only to find their escape route completely blocked by a pack of the snarling martens. Back in the present, his subordinate screams a warning as he wonders if this is truly the end. This armored hunter gasps, his eyes wide with disbelief at the unfolding chaos, as a small, feral creature is sent flying by a vicious, unseen attack, just as the hunter's magical barrier shatters into 1,000 pieces, leaving him completely exposed to the ferocious beast's next assault. Though his strength remains, his mana enforcement has been utterly destroyed. A sudden, dawning realization cuts through his growing panic, remembering the strange antidote he drank at the pharmacy just hours before. With newfound determination, he steels his resolve for the fight ahead, his hand tightening around the hilt of his massive greatsword. If that kid's cure was the real deal, then he just might survive this encounter. And a confident smirk spreads across his face, a plan forming in his mind. Later that night, back at the now quiet Beek's pharmacy. This front door's bell chimes, announcing a late and unexpected visitor. Bi Kongpyo turns to say they are closed but recognizes the familiar silhouette. It is the hunter, bursting in and desperately demanding to buy every last bottle of that antidote. This next day, Kim Tae-ju explores the sprawling Gurai market, a bustling hub for hunters, where vendors hawk everything from expensive monster meat to custom-made magic beast armor worth a small fortune. Our boy walks through the dazzling streets, amazed by the sheer scale of it all. Smiling to himself, glad he decided to take a day off to recover. His thoughts drift to the antidote, a creation only possible after reaching the third stage of his poison arts, a process that required so much energy it forced him into a state of necessary rest. Later, he meets with the pharmacy owner at a local cafe called Eden, where Beek Hongpyo leans forward eagerly, ready to buy every last bottle. With a calm smile, Kim Tae-ju asks if the antidote's effects were satisfactory, and the owner enthusiastically confirms it is a revolutionary drug, apologizing for his earlier rudeness. Cutting straight to business, our boy asks how many bottles the man needs in stock, revealing he currently has around 3,000 bottles ready for immediate sale. A confident smirk spreads across his face as he promises to produce more on demand. In response, Beek Hongpyo slides a contract forward, offering to handle all legal work for a generous profit margin. Kim Tae-ju lays out his terms, an initial batch of 60,000 bottles for 30 billion won, and after a low 10% tax, Beek Hongpyo calculates the final amount at 27 billion. This owner offers an exclusive one-year contract, a deal so good our boy can hardly believe it. But Kim Tae-ju reveals he knows the man runs an orphanage, explaining his generous price. A flashback shows the orphanage, confirming Beek Hongpyo is a beloved figure in the city, and in exchange for the cheap supply, he asks only for a place to manufacture his antidote. Visibly moved by this act of kindness, Beek Hongpyo calls him a saint, agreeing immediately. With a firm handshake, the two men officially seal their new business partnership. Later, Kim Tae-ju takes a day off to explore the Garai market for some new equipment. Finding himself in a weapon shop, browsing the various swords and gear on display, suddenly a muscular shopkeeper with a wrapped arm calls out, asking if he needs a weapon. Caught off guard, our boy points to himself, completely surprised by the attention. This man insists his shop is the best around, urging Kim Tae-ju not to go anywhere else, striking a confident pose as the blacksmith offers a special discount just for him. But Kim Tae-ju is just flustered, awkwardly trying to turn down the aggressive sales pitch. A powerful hand suddenly clamps down on Kim Tae-ju's shoulder from behind, revealing a massive, bald blacksmith who cheerfully invites him to check out his wares. Kim Tae-ju is shocked by the man's immense strength, unable to resist being pulled inside, and wonders if this unassuming craftsman could actually be a hidden master of his trade. Inside the shop, rows of expertly crafted warhammers and weapons line the walls, each piece gleaming with an undeniable quality that speaks of true skill. This blacksmith proudly declares himself the best in Garai, a claim he is eager to prove, and Kim Tae-ju's glowing eyes confirm the man's boast is no empty bluff. This quality of the equipment is truly exceptional, far beyond what he expected to find. Impressed, our boy presents a design, asking if the blacksmith can craft 100 of them. This blacksmith examines the blueprint for small willow leaf daggers, questioning their purpose, deducing they are meant to be thrown and suggesting monosteel as the ideal material. Kim Tae-ju eagerly asks if the master craftsman can actually forge such specialized weapons, and with a confident nod, the blacksmith agrees to the ambitious commission. He then quotes an astronomical price, asking for a hefty down payment to begin the work. Kim Tae-ju pays a staggering 250 million for 100 single-use hidden weapons, finalizing the deal at the MX Forge and arranging for the daggers to be delivered later. With his new weapons secured, his next priority is finding some proper protective armor, and he considers a custom robe like his master's, perfect for concealing his new arsenal. This thought of wearing such a traditional outfit in public, however, makes him blush with embarrassment. Deciding a more modern style of armor would be a much better and less conspicuous fit. Suddenly, a voice calls out to him, catching him completely by surprise. A cheerful shopkeeper with fox ears invites him into her boutique to see their new armor. Her brochure displays a stylish coat made from magic beast leather, a perfect modern alternative. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to the sprawling, futuristic metropolis known as the Free City of Garai. Life in the bustling city moves on, with advanced transportation filling the streets, where an imposing structure known as the castle dominates the distant skyline. Two women observe the view, one remarking on the city's extravagant and outdated defenses. She is told that access to the castle is restricted to Garai's elite and council members. This heir to the Baekdu group scoffs at how the powerful hide their privilege behind a facade of safety. Her companion asks if she came all this way for a fox coat, but the heir specifies it is a rare Siberian phantom fox fur, which comes from an elusive beast and offers incredible defense with all-weather comfort. This assistant marvels at its rarity, realizing the vacation was well worth taking, praising her boss's independence and noting she has more than enough money of her own. Their transport soon arrives at the Garai market stop, its doors hissing open for passengers. And stepping onto the street, the heir is eager to see the legendary material for herself. Meanwhile, Kim Tae-ju's eyes narrow with focus on his own objective, as he studies the brochure again, deciding the modern coat is a good substitute for a traditional robe. Entering the boutique, our boy announces that he was guided there from outside, but the two women are already inside, the assistant annoyed that another customer might want their coat. When a red-haired shopkeeper welcomes him to the Flame Boutique with a confident smile, recognizing him as Kim Tae-ju, the porter from a past raid, leaving him completely baffled. To jog his memory, she recalls an orc attack a month prior where she was the party's mage, and as the memory returns, she asks what brings a powerful mage like him to her shop. Revealing this is her main job and expressing relief that she has finally found him. Trying to make a quick exit, Kim Tae-ju recalls giving a mage credit for his past deeds. A memory of a brutal orc battle flashes by, confirming his desire to avoid any questions, but a firm hand suddenly grabs his arm, stopping him cold. This red-haired woman looks him dead in the eye, asking if he is the one who saved her. In a flashback, the mage explains he took the credit, assuming Tae-ju wanted to remain anonymous. And our boy tries to deny it, claiming a simple porter could not have defeated those orcs. Yet another memory shows a different survivor thanking him for recovering his fallen comrades' bodies, bringing him back to the present where the woman's gratitude makes him deeply uncomfortable. He awkwardly admits he was also just testing his techniques, pleading for her to calm down, and she smiles through a tear, apologizing for putting her savior in an awkward spot. Suddenly, her stern assistant interrupts, demanding to know why he is delaying her lady. This red-haired woman apologizes for the commotion, turning as if to leave, only to drop to her knees in a formal, shocking bow of respect. Bowing low to the floor, she declares she is sorry but cannot sell him the coat he chose, leaving Kim Tae-ju completely stunned by her sudden and confusing refusal. An angry assistant confronts the shopkeeper, demanding to know why a sale was suddenly cancelled. And the red-haired owner explains to a noblewoman that the coat is unexpectedly needed elsewhere, while her client simply apologizes, offering to personally compensate for the inconvenience. Despite the assistant's continued protests, the lady silences her with a single raised hand, deciding it is best they just leave, much to her companion's utter confusion. As they walk away, the lady calmly states the coat is needed somewhere more important now. Watching the scene unfold, Kim Tae-ju thinks the shopkeeper just put herself in an awkward spot. This owner turns to him with a reassuring smile, but he still questions her sudden refusal to sell. She teases him for being unperceptive, calling him by his full name, Mr. Tae-ju. Our boy is taken aback, realizing she knows him but still failing to connect the dots. And with a knowing smirk, she reveals that the coat was actually meant for him all along, leaving Kim Tae-ju completely baffled by this sudden turn of events. For she wants to repay him for saving her life with the priceless silver fox fur coat. He immediately tries to refuse the gift, explaining he did not act out of any noble intention. But she insists his motives do not matter, only that he saved her and she owes him a debt. She asks him to save more people so they will not lose their lives needlessly like her lover did. This is the first time in his life Kim Tae-ju has ever received such sincere gratitude, as his past was filled with nothing but criticism and scorn from his own clan. But a small smile spreads across his face, admitting the feeling is not bad at all. With a confident look, Kim Tae-ju graciously accepts her heartfelt offer. Relieved, she quickly ushers him inside the Dame boutique to take his measurements. This scene then shifts to the vast immortal realm, where a lone figure soars through the sky. An ancient-looking man with long white hair sighs, completely bored with his tranquil life. Revealed as the sword immortal Dongbin, who complains about the sheer lack of anything to do. His companions bicker amongst themselves, complaining that all the old men look identical. This sword immortal's gaze, however, lands on one person who stands out from the rest, identifying the unique individual as a man from the Tang clan, a master from the martial world. This man, hailing from another world entirely, has a distinct and modern style all his own, and an idea sparks in the sword immortal's mind. Two oddballs are more fun than one. His decision made, he leaps up, ready to go meet this intriguing stranger. This sword immortal devises a plan to bribe the martial arts master for his secrets, offering a legendary heavenly Dao peach from the immortal realm as payment. Back in Gari City, the scene shifts to the unassuming Beek's orphanage. A descent down a dark staircase leads to a hidden facility below ground, revealing a secure room with a massive vault door at its center. Kim Tae-ju's hand presses against a glowing surface, activating the hidden lab, and he looks on with satisfaction, pleased with his successful work on the antidote. He then places a small earpiece in his ear, preparing to make a crucial call, reporting to Beek Hongpyo that the manufacturing of the unnamed solution is complete. On the other end, the CEO is stunned to hear they are already out of stock, as news of the cure's effectiveness has sparked citywide panic buying and total chaos. Even powerful hunters are hoarding the supply, causing the stock to vanish almost instantly. With a calm smile, Kim Tae-ju advises announcing a steady supply and a 2-bottle limit, having already anticipated the antidote's explosive popularity and the inevitable copycats. Unconcerned, our boy confidently opens a bottle, ready for the next phase of his plan. Kim Tae-ju is confident his antidote cannot be replicated without his unique poison arts, and he discusses controlling sales volume while asking about packaging machines for the operation. Inside his new factory, our boy promises to expedite the setup of his production line. But elsewhere, two children approach a large vault, determined to reclaim their secret base. This girl fears a ghost is inside, while her brother insists a beggar has taken over their hideout. When to their shock, the massive vault door suddenly begins to unlock on its own. It slowly swings open, revealing a dark, ominous presence seeping out from within. And a menacing figure with glowing eyes appears from the darkness, sitting atop a stack of boxes. This is Kim Tae-ju, who greets them with a sinister smile and glowing purple eyes, causing the terrified children to let out a piercing scream, completely horrified by his appearance. They flee in terror, screaming about a smelly ghost as our boy simply watches them go. his menacing aura fading as he complains about being called names after working so hard. He then sniffs his arm, wondering if he really smells that bad after a week of non-stop work, when a memory of a desperate porter flashes through his mind as he considers his next move, just as a voice from behind suddenly calls out, asking if he is indeed Kim Tae-ju. This sound of heels echoes through the hallway as a visitor arrives. A woman with 2 children appears, mentioning she heard about his Antidote business with her father. Kim Tae-ju confirms his identity, cautiously asking who she is, and she introduces herself as Baek Seo-yeon from the Baek orphanage. Apparently, the kids thought a ghost was in the basement, so she came to investigate, also bringing a package for him from the MX weapons shop. Our boy's eyes light up, realizing the prototype daggers have arrived just in time. Flustered by his presence, Baek Seo-yeon wishes him well with her father's business, then quickly ushers the children away, leaving Kim Tae-ju with his delivery. Alone now, he eagerly anticipates inspecting the legendary willow leaf daggers. Inside the box, he finds the weapons and a small, unexpected note tucked among them. This blacksmith's flirty message asks him to test the prototype and give feedback, sending a dark, menacing chill down Kim Tae-ju's spine as he reads it. His face contorts with pure, unadulterated rage at the blacksmith's audacity. But after a deep breath, he sets the note aside to examine his new weapons. Inspecting the newly forged dagger, Kim Tae-ju is thoroughly impressed by its sharp and solid quality, and the weapon's weight and grip feel perfect in his hand as he practices a few quick spins. With his new throwing weapons ready, he eagerly anticipates the arrival of his custom-made coat, while the boutique owner resolves to repay her debt properly, promising to contact him very soon. Back at his apartment, Kim Tae-ju rushes to get ready, knowing that time is running short, and the scene shifts to the lush, dangerous wilderness of the Jiri demonic beast border zone, where a fully equipped raid party has already gathered, waiting for their final member to arrive. His new business partner, Baek Hongpyo, spots him from across the clearing and calls out a greeting, and with an enthusiastic wave, the man formally welcomes Kim Tae-ju to the assembled hunting party. Baek Hongpyo apologizes for the urgent summons, clearly grateful that Kim Tae-ju could even make it. But dismissing the apology, Kim Tae-ju's attention is suddenly drawn to another hunter. A cocky swordsman calls him out for being last, demanding a porter should apologize first. This hunter, Kwon Dong-seok, scoffs at their friendly reunion, mocking their casual social gathering. Unfazed by the hostility, Kim Tae-ju points out he is on time and sees no reason to apologize. And enraged by the defiance, the swordsman threatens to slice him, belittling him as a mere porter. Kim Tae-ju's eye flares with green energy, wondering why he is tolerating this arrogant hunter, while Baek Hongpyo quietly pleads with him to endure the insults, citing a massive contract penalty. Forcing himself to calm down, Kim Tae-ju offers a reluctant apology, deciding to endure it for now. And with a final sneer, the swordsman turns away, calling it a waste of time and telling him he is lucky. With the full party now gathered, the group of hunters prepares to set off on their mission. Kim Tae-ju immediately questions their numbers, believing a raid of this scale requires at least 15 people, and he directly questions the swordsman about the party's small size, earning a sharp, dismissive glare in return. Kwon Dong-seok explodes, asking if a porter has a death wish, but Kim Tae-ju calmly states he will not go if it is unsafe. With a face twisted in pure rage, the swordsman snarls that a disposable porter should just shut up and die. Those words, "a bastard who is going to die anyway," echo in his mind, his patience wearing dangerously thin. Having had enough, the swordsman draws his weapon, declaring he will just kill him right here and now. But suddenly, the raid leader, Kwon Dong-seok, steps in, telling the aggressive swordsman to back off. This aggressive swordsman just sneers, remarking that he has never heard a lowly porter speak so boldly before, while the raid leader laughs, smugly stating the porter is already here and cannot possibly escape. A dangerous green light flares in his eye again as he contemplates whether to endure this or just kill them all. Baek Hongpyo orders everyone to take the antidote so the raid can begin immediately, but Kim Tae-ju questions the small size of their party, wondering if it is enough for the hunt. And his companion explains the antidote negates the need for bug suits, allowing for a smaller team. He offers Kim Tae-ju his own bottle of the precious solution with a reassuring word. A smile spreads across our boy's face as he reflects on this new change his power brings. Recalling the boutique owner's plea for him to save others from dying needlessly, he drinks the antidote, realizing he can now fulfill her wish and save countless lives. But a darker side of this power emerges, fueling a killing intent he has already struggled to control. His thoughts turn murderous as he coldly contemplates killing the arrogant hunters around him, an impulse he attributes to the influence of the absolute poison demon, Tang Gunnak. This demon's nature is to eliminate anyone he dislikes without a second thought, and through their soul sharing, that poisonous heart is slowly assimilating with his own. Yet he accepts this change, knowing his past weakness was a death sentence in this world. His companion then remarks that it is safer to be with a rumored awakened than a powerless porter, just as a massive, red-eyed wolf emerges from the trees, proving this is no joke at all. A memory flashes of a ferocious killing intent, a beast with glowing red eyes stalking from the darkness. This vision shifts to the burning compound of the once mighty Zhuge clan, now engulfed in flames, and above the inferno a powerful warrior descends, their feet rippling the air with dark energy. An old master stands alone amidst the rubble, his expression one of utter defeat. This is Yujin, the clan's patriarch, who furiously demands to know why they were attacked. But a woman's voice cuts through the chaos, mockingly calling him the lightning demon. Floating above, she accuses his entire clan of secretly colluding with the demonic cult, an accusation Yujin vehemently denies, citing his clan's noble status as proof of innocence. She silences his pleas with a single, dismissive gesture, her patience clearly at an end. A wave of pure terror washes over the patriarch's face as he realizes his fate is sealed. And his interrogator taunts him with a chilling question about his own son. A flashback reveals his son was caught slaughtering innocents for a demonic blood ritual. With the truth exposed, she asks again if he still considers her accusations to be slander, condemning him as scum who uses the weak as shields to save his own neck. Broken and terrified, Jujin begs for his life, offering secrets about the heavenly demon. A memory of a past life shows him on a fiery battlefield, declaring an end to the pointless slaughter. And with glowing purple eyes, he commands his enemies to be gone, his power surging around him. He unleashes a devastating blast of energy, vowing to send the heavenly demon to hell, a brutal memory that flashes through his mind as he stands with the hunting party. Back in the present, the other hunters boast about their easy victory over a pack of martens. And Kwon Dong-seok holds up an energy crystal, again mocking Kim Tae-ju as a worthless coward. As Baek Hong-pyo tries to apologize, Kim Tae-ju silently seethes, knowing they only won thanks to his antidote. A dark thought crosses his mind as he considers killing them all right now. But he decides such scum are not worthy of being the first sacrifices for his new daggers. He observes the party's low skill level, unimpressed by their arrogant celebration. His sharp gaze scanning the surrounding forest, sensing something is deeply wrong. For a rustle in the undergrowth suggests a far greater threat is lurking nearby. Kim Tae-ju calmly warns Baek Hong-pyo to stick close, leaving the man utterly confused. Nonchalantly mentioning a notoriously difficult beast is approaching as a massive clawed paw appears, revealing a monstrous wolf with glowing red eyes ready to ambush the unsuspecting party. Pure terror grips Baek Hong-pyo as he recognizes the dreaded red-furred beast before them, and another swordsman draws his weapon in shock as the massive wolf fully reveals itself. Despite the panic, Kim Tae-ju calmly reassures his partner that nothing will happen to them. But this is a high-level magic beast, a creature requiring at least a regular rank hunter. Just as they realize these beasts hunt in pairs, a second wolf ambushes another hunter, causing a female hunter to cry out in alarm, finally understanding the true danger they face. With a furious cry, the woman lunges forward, swinging her blade at the attacking beast, but the creature is far too fast, effortlessly dodging her desperate sword strike. Stunned by the beast's speed, she desperately calls to Kwon Dong-seok for orders, but in a shocking display of cowardice, he abandons a fallen teammate to save himself. This lead huntress silences her panicked companion, coldly stating they will proceed as usual, and their cruel plan becomes clear. They intend to use the porters as bait to escape. As the wolves close in, a desperate Baek Hong-pyo places his trust in Kim Tae-ju, who promises to demonstrate his worth as his hand moves toward his new dagger. He explodes into action, unleashing his dagger art, one flash and a blinding burst of speed. A swirling vortex of green energy erupts from his hand, unleashing a devastating beam that streaks across the clearing, and a massive pillar of light tears through the forest floor with immense power. This very air seems to crack from the force as birds scatter in terror, leaving one of the hunters completely stunned, wondering what just happened. Kim Tae-ju recalls their cowardly plan, abandon their leader and sacrifice him to the beast, confirming they are the exact kind of scum he despises most, those who use others as shields. Nearby, Baek Hong-pyo clutches his ears, reeling from the deafening sonic boom, his eyes wide with utter disbelief at the sudden turn of events. Before them lies the massive wolf, now a lifeless corpse bleeding onto the forest floor. Baek Hong-pyo stammers, asking how Kim Tae-ju could have possibly killed it in a single strike, its once menacing red eye now dull and empty in death. With a single command to shut up, dark energy swirls around Kim Tae-ju's feet. As he warns the terrified hunters that another step will be their last, his glowing green eye fixes on them with cold fury, preparing to ask a single, chilling question. Kim Tae-ju confronts the hunters, asking if they always throw the weak to the wolves to escape, and the female hunter retorts that it is only natural for weaklings to die for the sake of the awakened. A cold understanding dawns on Kim Tae-ju as he processes their cruel logic. And with his eye flaring green, he decides they will now experience that very same fate. A massive red beast suddenly lunges toward the terrified party members who can only cower. But Kim Tae-ju remains aloof, simply ordering them to fight the monster themselves. Stunned and terrified, the hunters cannot comprehend his cold command, as he casually explains from his perch that he already took care of one, leaving this one for them. Kwon Dong-seok explodes with rage, unable to believe a porter would defy an awakened hunter, and while one of the women begs for mercy, he furiously silences her. In a flash, a blade of pure green energy slices just past the swordsman's cheek, severing his ear as Kim Tae-ju coldly remarks that he clearly does not need it to listen. Our boy then mockingly clarifies their roles. He is the porter and they are the combatants. And grabbing the terrified swordsman by the collar, he asks where all that earlier bravado has gone. With the monstrous beast looming over them, Kim Tae-ju gives his final chilling command, fight. Kim Tae-ju's eye glows as he coldly addresses the arrogant hunters below. who look up in confusion, wondering what he is talking about as the first wolf lies dead. This aggressive swordsman scoffs, refusing to listen to a mere porter's commands. But then a truly monstrous beast emerges, dwarfing the party below him, causing the swordsman to scream in panic for everyone to scatter immediately. He turns in shock, finding the creature already upon him in a flash, and with a furious roar the massive wolf lunges forward to attack, sending the overconfident hunter flying with a single, brutal swipe. Another hunter clutches his ears in pain, blaming Kim Tae-ju for the chaos. His threat cut short as a massive claw appears right before his eyes. This giant beast now stands over the fallen hunters, its gaze fixed on its prey, while a desperate cry rings out telling the terrified survivors to run for their lives. A female hunter flees in terror as the monster closes in from behind, its massive jaws opening wide, revealing rows of deadly sharp fangs, just before its powerful claw comes crashing down on the forest floor. This monstrous wolf's red eye flares with pure, unadulterated killing intent. It charges forward, a blur of rage and fur aimed at the remaining hunters, leaving Baek Hongpyo completely frozen in a state of utter shock and terror. From his perch, Kim Tae-ju calmly remarks that he would have let the beast live if it had fled, his glowing green eyes mocking its confidence after he already demonstrated his power. With a sigh, he leaps from the rock, cracking the ground as he lands. And a torrent of green energy begins to gather in his outstretched hands. With a single command to die, he unleashes his full power upon the creature. This wolf is engulfed by the blinding green light, its snarl turning to a shriek of pain, as Kim Tae-ju unleashes his devastating blood venom twin palm technique. A massive explosion of energy rips through the clearing, obliterating everything in its path, sending a brilliant green pillar of light shooting high into the sky. Baek Hongpyo can only stare in disbelief, realizing Kim Tae-ju is far more than he seemed. His mind flashing back to the orc they fought, now certain it was Kim Tae-ju's kill. Our boy simply stretches, casually mentioning how refreshing it is to fight after making medicine. Baek Hongpyo realizes he just witnessed a massacre as Kim Tae-ju asks if he is okay. And terrified, his companion drops to the ground, begging Kim Tae-ju to spare his life. Our boy casually asks why he would ever kill him, a hint of amusement in his voice. His hand remains steady, showing no hint of his true intentions for a tense moment, before he simply tells the stunned Baek Hongpyo to get up, asking if he is hurt. After confirming he is fine, our protagonist asks for a simple favor in return for his life. A promise to forget everything that happened here, which Baek Hongpyo frantically agrees to. With their grim business concluded, they decide to head back down the mountain together. Kim Tae-ju glances back at the bodies, deciding to let the forest beasts clean up the evidence, feeling no guilt for letting them die, only a chilling sense of justice. In his mind, it does not matter if he is the poison demon or Kim Tae-ju. Anyone who uses the weak as a shield deserves to die, just like the treacherous Yuge clan. As one chapter of his vengeance closes, a new stage is set for his plans. Shifting the scene to the modern headquarters of Ij Pharmacy inside Garai Castle, where inside the towering building the camera focuses on the door to a meeting room. A fist slams down in frustration at a corporate meeting, where a furious executive reveals their sales have been cut in half, all thanks to Kim Tae-ju. His new antidote is drawing all the customers to his small shop, crippling their business, leading to deep regret that they did not crush his pharmacy when they had the chance. This scene reveals a tense gathering of rival pharmacy owners, all feeling the pressure. But one of the men dismisses the outburst, stating the problem is obvious to everyone there. Another explains that while they control the market, Kim Tae-ju's shop remains untouchable, and an angry executive reveals this is because a local committee protects the owner for his charity work. This prompts a colleague to demand a solution instead of just complaining about the situation. But just as their argument escalates, a silver-haired man calmly steps in to mediate. This is Jo Hoon-seok, CEO of Ij Pharmacy, who suggests they all share their findings. He admits that his own company has already failed to replicate the miracle antidote, and he correctly assumes the other two corporations have failed as well. This other owners listen grimly, their silence confirming his suspicions, as one slams his fist again, demanding to know what they are supposed to do now. A man identified as CEO Joe offers a confident, knowing smirk, while his associate expresses satisfaction, stating this is exactly what he wanted to hear. With the press of a button, CEO Joe prepares to reveal the results of their investigation. A file on the eldest son of a brigadier general, a discharged military officer. Another man watches the screen as the subject's identity is displayed, but a silver-haired executive dismisses this as basic info, promising the real story is next. This scene shifts to the heavily fortified Paju domain, a military territory, where a stern voice on the phone gives a single, chilling order to exterminate. A hand slams the receiver down, confirming the command has been given, as a man in a uniform mutters that even a worm will eventually turn. In his office, a woman wonders how their sickly son, Kim Tae-ju, became so capable, and she worries he will be scammed now that he has money, planning to visit him. This man, his father, coldly tells her to just leave their son alone, revealing he has already removed Kim Tae-ju from the family registry, disowning him completely. Shocked, she questions how he could sever blood ties so easily, insisting they must help. Kim Tae-ju's mother confronts his father, demanding he stop if he has any conscience left, but he internally scoffs, confident that the target is dead and all evidence is gone. She then insists he at least convince their son to supply his antidote to the military for his own promotion. But the man covers his face, exhausted by her pleas about their other children's futures. With his hands folded, he coldly tells her to go and ask Kim Tae-ju herself, his expression hardening as he states that his refusal is final. She bites her lip, barely containing a scream of pure frustration at his stubbornness. Before relenting, declaring she will simply handle things her own way from now on. Leaning back in his chair, the father muses that he'd assumed his son was dead after months of silence, a chilling smile appearing as he expresses relief that Kim Tae-ju is living a meaningful life. This scene shifts to a bustling city street where Kim Tae-ju is seen with a red-haired woman, their destination an upscale shop called Flame Boutique, where inside his companion helps him try on a new, stylish coat. With a confident smile, she tells him that the new look suits him perfectly, and he agrees, impressed by the unique quality of a coat made from monster byproducts. In a high-end tailor shop, Kim Tae-ju tries on a new coat, approving of the custom work, its interior revealing hidden sheaths for his throwing knives, a feature he specifically requested. This red-haired proprietor correctly guesses he is an awakened, given his need for so many weapons, and though he insists on paying, she calls it a gift for saving her life. Our boy worries he has caused trouble by taking an item already promised to another client, but she waves off his concern, assuring him she has already handled the other customer. With a sigh, Kim Tae-ju seems to accept her generous, if forceful, offer. Then suddenly points across the shop, declaring he will buy a massive selection of her inventory, explaining he will donate it all to an orphanage, a move that will also boost her sales. Impressed by his kindness, the owner agrees to his massive purchase and begins to pack the items, and he watches her go, thinking she is a far better person than the trash hunters he just met. A voice suddenly calls his name as a man in a suit reveals he has been searching for him. This stranger confidently approaching as his polished shoes echo across the floor, revealing a silver-haired man with a friendly smile who offers him a business card. Kim Tae-ju's face hardens, his expression wary as he takes the unexpected offer. CEO Jo Hoon-seok arrives with a smug smile, noting his sudden visit must be uncomfortable. And unimpressed, Kim Tae-ju demands to know his business and how he was even located. The CEO boasts that his association knows everything in the city before getting to the point. His expression darkens as he asks for a favor, to supply them with his antidote. With a smirk, Kim Tae-ju questions whether this is a genuine favor or a veiled threat. Jo Hoon-seok insists it is a favor for now, but our boy gives a flat, simple no. Kim Tae-ju refuses to become a man without honor by accepting their predatory offer. So the CEO offers $5 billion for the formula, which Kim Tae-ju dismisses as pocket change. A vein pops on our boy's temple, his patience clearly wearing thin with the executive. Turning to leave, he tells the CEO not to worry about him as he walks away. Furious at the rejection, Jo Hoon-seok calls him a stubborn brat who will regret this day. And on the phone, he orders his men to start their usual work against his new rival. This scene then shifts to the outskirts of the city at Kim Tae-ju's villa construction site, where heavy construction materials are stacked high against the setting sun, symbolizing his new life. And Kim Tae-ju arrives with shopping bags, completely unaware of the danger he is now in. At a construction site, an older associate greets Kim Tae-ju, curious about the bags he is carrying. And our boy explains they are gifts for the man's kids, a token of gratitude for his hard work. A kind gesture that immediately brings the older man to the verge of tears. He calls Kim Tae-ju a saint, overcome with emotion and vowing to work even harder for him. While Kim Tae-ju simply smiles, glad his gift was so well received. This man thanks him for buying the building, as Kim Tae-ju agrees to a proposal they discussed earlier, prompting his associate to ask if he has finally made up his mind about their future. Kim Tae-ju confirms that a visit from a rival pharmacy gave him the certainty he needed, which instantly alarms the older man, who asks if the rival tried to harm him. But our boy casually dismisses it as a simple threat, a reminder of how the powerless are treated. With new resolve, he declares his plan to establish a pharmaceutical company and asks for his help, tasking the man with overseeing construction while he is away for a while. Before they can launch the company, he must first go develop some powerful new medicine. This source of this power is revealed, the primordial chaos absolute poison spirit art, a unique technique combining the 5 elements with the Tang clan's foundational cultivation methods. His power system is revealed, a 10-stage poison art with him at the bottom and the poison demon at the top. And to reach the final stage, one must survive a lightning trial to master the legendary rain of myriad flowers. This same power used by the legendary Tang Gunak to defeat the heavenly demon himself. This scene shifts to the present day, deep within the MT, Jiri demonic beast zone, where a sudden explosion of energy signals the start of a fierce and dangerous hunt. Kim Tae-ju leaps into action, confronting a massive, wolf-like demonic beast waiting below, his throwing knives struggling to pierce the creature's incredibly tough hide and thick fur. But he drives a poisoned blade directly into the monster's skull with deadly precision. This powerful blow sends the massive beast flying backward through the forest with immense force. Landing gracefully, he stands over his fallen prey, his mission accomplished for now, identifying the creature as a poison claw leopard cat far larger than he expected, and admitting its skin was so tough his weapons and internal energy were almost useless. Which is why he is here, to absorb the poison of demonic beasts and overcome his weakness. Holding its poison gland, he reflects that with Tang Gunak's knowledge this is just a review, and by consuming new poisons, he can rapidly regain his former power and grow even stronger. Kim Tae-ju recalls being stuck at the third stage, but now his body is stable enough to advance. His primary objective is to absorb the potent poison from a specific demonic beast. Before that, however, he comically retrieves his expensive daggers from a lesser beast's corpse, then spots his true target in the distance, the docile spore poison water deer. This unique creature carries its deadly payload in two large humps on its back, and without a moment's hesitation, Kim Tae-ju closes the distance to strike it down. Upon its death, the humps on its back erupt in a violent burst, scattering a cloud of microscopic, highly toxic spores into the surrounding area. Yet our boy stands calmly in the center of the deadly purple mist, completely unaffected. He notes the poison is potent enough to melt filters and will linger for an entire hour, declaring it the strongest poison he has found and a resource too precious to waste. He immediately begins to gather the toxic spores, drawing them toward his hands. With intense concentration, he focuses his power on the swirling toxins, condensing all the poison chi into a single volatile green orb. This final dangerous step is to absorb this pure power directly into his own body. Using the primordial chaos absolute poison spirit art, he begins converting poison into internal energy. This powerful technique allowing him to form a core of pure energy while meditating, and after absorbing all the ambient poison from the water deer, he wonders how much time has passed. This sheer volume of poison is immense, but he is confident an antidote will be simple to create. And with this newfound advantage, he resolves to grow stronger and faster than ever before, vowing never to be as weak as he was in his past life, haunted by a monstrous memory. This image of his own helplessness fuels his determination to never be a burden again. Focusing his will, he condenses the raw poison energy into a stable, glowing orb, and with a final surge of power, he successfully reaches the fourth stage of his cultivation. Opening his eyes, Kim Tae-ju notes that the difficult process took quite some time to complete, and he finally stands to stretch, his body now brimming with newfound power. As the sun sets, he reflects on his success, reaching the fourth stage and discovering the antidote's formula. With his training complete and his mission accomplished, he prepares to return to the city. But a sense of anxiety lingers, worried about what Ij Pharmacy might have done in his absence. Meanwhile, back in the city, a pharmacy sign glows ominously under the night sky. With his training complete, Kim Tae-ju sets down his heavy pack inside the pharmacy, announcing his return to his two waiting associates. He notices the empty shelves, assuming business must have been booming in his absence. But his older associate, Mr. Beak, expresses only relief, worried after a month of silence. This younger woman also welcomes him back, her expression filled with deep concern. So Kim Tae-ju explains his phone was off for training and asks what is wrong. Mr. Beak reveals their suppliers suddenly cut them off, taking back all their stock. And worse, the drug department is demanding their antidote for a side effect investigation. A move our boy instantly recognizes as the handiwork of CEO Jo Hoon-seok. His associate confirms Jo is a powerful committee member, using his influence against them, warning that in the worst-case scenario, their miracle drug could be banned entirely. Realizing even the commissioner is turning a blind eye, Kim Tae-ju knows this is just the start of the CEO's attacks. His eyes glow with cold fury, vowing to crush his enemies before they can crush him. And he turns to Mr. Beak, declaring they will strike first to make the threats real. This older man is left stunned by the sudden, aggressive command. With a confident smirk, Kim Tae-ju declares they are closing the shop for now. As the scene shifts to the Biksu orphanage under a quiet crescent moon, where a massive, perfectly cooked leg of meat is presented for a special occasion, providing a surprise barbecue feast for the children and staff gathered outside. Taking his first bite, Kim Tae-ju savors the flavor of his recent hunt, his expression one of pure satisfaction as he chews the rare delicacy. And the taste is so divine it is as if the creature itself is nuzzling him in appreciation. He recalls this is the legendary flavor of the spore poison water deer, a meat once monopolized by the imperial family and impossible for commoners to obtain. This incredible taste confirms that choosing the water deer was the perfect strategic move, especially since its deadly poison was once a major threat to civilians during monster waves. And seeing how much the children adore it, he considers selling the meat as a new venture. He even thinks of supplying it to the emperor to gain an audience with a legendary swordsman, while the orphanage director is moved to tears by this incredible and unexpected generosity. Thanking Kim Tae-ju profusely for bringing them such a priceless and wonderful gift, Mr. Beak marvels at how the new medicine is the antidote for the terrifying water deer. But he questions if it is truly fine to just close the pharmacy and not respond. While Kim Tae-ju calmly eats, telling his associate to simply trust him and wait. With a confident smirk, he asks who really stands to lose if the antidote is not sold. This next day, the pharmacy remains closed, a sign on the door turning people away. An armored hunter arrives, furious to find the shop closed when he desperately needs more antidote. As his companions discuss the rumors that the committee is investigating side effects and pressuring the pharmacy, this armored man seethes with rage, declaring he is living proof the medicine is safe. Suddenly, a hand reaches out to block his path, as a man wielding a baton steps forward to confront the angry hunter. This enforcer is Master Lee Jeong-hak, who stands with an air of smug authority, and the hunter recognizes him as a man connected to Ij Pharmacy and the committee. Master Lee officially announces that all sales are suspended pending a formal investigation, prompting the hunter to shout that the claim is ridiculous, demanding to know how they are supposed to hunt. He faces a growing crowd of furious hunters who refuse to accept the committee's decision. A mysterious man with dark hair smirks, finding the unfolding situation rather interesting, as a flashback reveals him confronting an armored man, asking when Trash learned to talk back. In the present, he dismisses a group of hunters, annoyed he has to deal with such trivial matters. But the armored man from the flashback, Park Jin-soo, stands his ground with his crew, and he crosses his arms, refusing to back down from the challenge. With glowing eyes, the dark-haired officer grips his sword, questioning if the man has the power to support his words. But his opponent immediately flees down the street, shouting an apology. This officer sighs, annoyed at having to waste his time on such minor conflicts, his thoughts turning to the person manipulating the committee whom he vows to handle soon. Just then, a white car pulls up and a voice from inside calls out to the officer, revealing CEO Jo Hoon-seok on the phone, impressed by the officer's show of force. On the other end, the officer explains that under majority rule, even a master is powerless. And Jo Hoon-seok agrees, confirming their next operation against Kim Tae-ju is already underway. He promises a handsome reward, confident their target will not last a week without a miracle. This scene then cuts to a desk nameplate, revealing the name of a powerful lieutenant general. In a military office, a stern commander questions Kim Tae-ju about a recent proposal. And our boy confirms the deal, 1,000,000 antidote units for the Jirisan Monster Defense Corps. This is Lieutenant General Oh Jin-hyung, a master-level commander with a formidable presence, whose eyes glow with intense power as he processes the staggering 50 billion won price tag, leaving Kim Tae-ju worried he has offended the general by not offering a military discount. An aide clarifies that the commander is actually in an excellent mood, his aura flaring with interest. Impressed, the general asks how he can possibly make a profit at such a generous price. A question that catches our boy completely off guard for a moment. Oh Jin-hyung immediately confirms with his assistant that the 50 billion is available from their reserves. And with the deal secured, Kim Tae-ju casually mentions one more item he has brought along, explaining he has also developed a new medicine as part of his company's launch. He then presents a strange, glowing piece of meat wrapped in simple paper, offering it to the commander with a confident smile, urging him to try it. This general is visibly stunned, sensing the immense power radiating from the mysterious item, revealing it is a specially prepared cut of meat, a personal gift for the commander himself. This general scoffs at the medicine, mentioning he has been avoiding meat for his health. Kim Tae-ju calmly reveals it is spore poison water deer meat, a delicacy fit for an emperor. His aide is completely stunned, recalling legends of the meat's heavenly, fountain-like flavor. With a confident smile, our boy simply sips his tea, letting the revelation sink in. Oh Jin-hyung's eyes blaze with newfound respect, asking if Kim Tae-ju would consider re-enlisting. This offer only irritates our boy, who internally wonders if killing the man would be simpler. This scene shifts to the remote Jirisan region, home to the demonic Beast Defense Legion. Here, the general recalls his past despair, commanding a post where failure meant a great fall. But now he senses a new opportunity has finally presented itself before him. He focuses on the water deer antidote, a key piece in his strategic puzzle. Just then, his aide confirms the massive payment transfer has been successfully completed, explaining the commander predicted this outcome, knowing the pharmacy conflict would lead Kim Tae-ju to them. Oh Jin-hyung orders his subordinate to keep a close watch on their new partner and offer support. He then sincerely thanks the aide for his unwavering loyalty through difficult times, leaving the younger officer moved to tears, his years of suffering finally acknowledged. This commander grabs his adjutant, overcome with powerful emotion, his grip tightening with overwhelming gratitude and excitement, vowing to use this incredible opportunity to rise all the way to the imperial court. As the adjutant departs with renewed purpose, the general's triumphant laughter echoes. This scene then shifts to Kim Tae-ju's impressive new home on the city outskirts, where the establishment of his new company is progressing smoothly. He sits with Mr. Beak, who praises his hard work and just needs a company name to finalize things. And Kim Tae-ju smirks, noting how the military deal has perfectly paved their way. A newspaper headline already blasts the news of his new drug and the massive defense contract. Mr. Beak confirms he used the 25 billion won down payment to clear all their debts instantly, even closing their old bank accounts out of spite for their previous lack of faith. With their finances secure, Kim Tae-ju decides to use the remaining funds for the orphanage, but he knows he cannot manage this growing enterprise alone and needs a trusted helper. Turning to Mr. Beak, he formally asks the stunned man to become his business partner, an offer the older man initially dismisses, feeling he is not qualified for such a role. Kim Tae-ju pitches a new business, insisting he needs the orphanage director as a partner, and the director, though flattered, graciously agrees to join the new venture. He suggests a 9-to-1 share split in Kim Tae-ju's favor, but our boy immediately refuses. Instead, Kim Tae-ju counters with a firm 7-to-3 split, making the offer non-negotiable. This director accepts but declines to manage the company, suggesting someone more capable from the orphanage. His thoughts turning to Baek Seo-yeon, the young woman from the pharmacy. Praising her as the smartest of his children, the director offers to call her in immediately. Kim Tae-ju smiles, agreeing that anyone capable is welcome on his team, And with their terms settled, the two men shake hands, officially sealing their new partnership. They even decide on a company name, ready to make their business official right away. But the director reveals he has also summoned an awakened and an adapter from the orphanage. This sudden news catches Kim Tae-ju completely by surprise. This director explains he has called them to act as personal guards for Kim Tae-ju's protection. Amused by the gesture, our boy crosses his arms, wondering who is really protecting whom. And this sheer confidence leaves the director sweating, questioning the source of the kid's incredible nerve. Kim Tae-ju ponders the general's status, seeing him as an unawakened adapter relying on past experience, and a new strategy suddenly forms in his mind, a way to prove his worth. This general nervously insists he trusts him, but Kim Tae-ju calls out his lingering doubt, and acknowledging the unspoken hesitation, our boy grabs his coat from the rack. Before leaving, he instructs the general to call in his men, much to the commander's confusion. His purpose is simple: to prove his own power and test the spore venom antidote. With a confident smirk, he declares he is going on a hunt with the general's team. Their destination is the lush but dangerous Jirisan demonic beast border zone, and Kim Tae-ju now walks with the hand-picked team deep into the monster-infested territory. A soldier observes his expensive coat, dismissing him as a mere porter or an ordinary person. But suddenly a hand claps onto his shoulder, stopping him in his tracks, revealing Baek Chang-hoon, an awakened swordsman tasked by his father to protect him. This young swordsman insists Kim Tae-ju call him Hyung-nim, a sign of friendly authority, telling him to stay behind, boasting that his own gear is far better suited for battle. This swordsman then awkwardly apologizes, in case his forwardness made Kim Tae-ju uncomfortable. Kim Tae-ju smirks, explaining he is used to being underestimated as an unawakened person, and points ahead, suggesting they handle the nearby threat before continuing their chat. This young swordsman looks around in confusion, questioning what threat he is referring to, when from the shadows of the forest, dozens of glowing red eyes suddenly appear. His bodyguard breaks into a cold sweat, recognizing the terrifying creatures as storm weasels, and in an instant a pack of vicious, red-eyed beasts lunges from the foliage. Unfazed by the ambush, our boy calmly reaches into his coat for something, his hand revealing a cluster of strange, nail-like projectiles held between his fingers. He is actually holding several small, spherical explosives ready for deployment, and with a single motion, he unleashes the entire arsenal into the air. This devices detonate in a massive chain-reaction explosion of purple energy, leaving the swordsman completely stunned, staring in utter disbelief at the aftermath. One lone beast remains, a testament to the pack's terrifying numbers, always attacking in large groups. But even these creatures, far too powerful for a hunter of his rank, are instantly vaporized, leaving the young bodyguard staring at a sky where the entire threat has just been deleted. Kim Tae-ju casually dusts off his hands, the unseen threat already neutralized. Annoyed to have encountered a pack of dangerous storm weasels so soon, a fight so swift he did not even need his special retrievable dagger. His new bodyguards can only stare in shock, asking if he is all right, revealing he unleashed a barrage of hidden anti-personnel weapons to end it instantly. But now he laments the cost, as all 200 projectiles are unrecoverable. He wishes for a higher-level skill that would let him recall his weapons automatically, prompting the stunned Baek Chang-hoon to ask if he is a master-level hunter. Kim Tae-ju just smirks, dismissing the question and declaring he is taking the lead now, leaving the young swordsman stammering, trying to object based on his father's orders. But our boy simply walks on, leaving Chang-hoon to wonder what kind of person he truly is. This entire team now follows his lead, venturing deeper into the dangerous woods. When Kim Tae-ju suddenly signals for them to halt, spotting a creature ahead, it is a water deer, the very source of the spore poison they are here to test. His team watches nervously, asking their new leader what the plan is. Kim Tae-ju smirks, explaining the beast cannot touch them because of its own poison, and he calmly orders the soldiers to take the antidote and prepare for the hunt. This team is stunned, openly questioning if this experimental drug is even safe, as Baek Chang-hoon recalls hearing it is still in clinical trials and cannot be trusted, yet he remembers his father's partnership with the man who created this very cure. So he drinks it down, deciding to trust Kim Tae-ju and prove his team's worth. Taking the lead, he tells his squad to cover him with mana guns if he needs to fall back. And with his sword drawn, the young warrior confidently steps forward. A small, deer-like monster appears, locking eyes with the approaching swordsman, its face twisting into a snarl as it lets out a ferocious, piercing shriek. This sonic blast stuns the rest of the squad, forcing them to cover their ears. But Baek Chang-hoon charges ahead, his glowing blade slicing through the creature. In a single, clean strike, the small monster is felled, lying motionless on the ground. But a female soldier suddenly screams a warning, sensing the danger is not over. This monster's corpse begins to glow, erupting in a cloud of deadly purple spores. In a forest filled with purple spores, the hunting party stands victorious over a fallen beast, and Kim Tae-ju admits with a smile that he was skeptical, but the results are impressive. Even the swordsman Baek Chang-hoon is forced to acknowledge the antidote's incredible power, while his companions celebrate their survival, completely unharmed by the deadly environment. A relieved smirk crosses Baek Chang-hoon's face, thankful the medicine was not a bluff. With newfound authority, Kim Tae-ju explains that the monster is now trivial to hunt. This others quickly apologize for their earlier doubts, their faith in him now absolute. Now united, he and Baek Chang-hoon agree to press on with the hunt. Kim Tae-ju orders them to butcher the creature, foreseeing its eventual extinction. This story then shifts to the bustling capital of the Samhain Empire, New Seoul. Focusing on the gleaming headquarters of the powerful Mirani Group, we see a busy office floor humming with corporate activity, where a voice calls out to Section Chief Beek, a woman focused on her work. She turns, revealing herself as Beek Seoyeon, the youngest section chief in the company, and a deputy manager confirms her connection to Director Beek's orphanage. Beek Seoyeon questions the deputy manager's sudden interest in her father, a hint of suspicion in her eyes. And with a smug grin, the man orders her to drop every project she is currently working on. This sudden, bizarre order leaves Beek Seoyeon completely stunned and questioning his authority. He frames the strange command as a simple favor, his unsettling smile never leaving his face. Her manager elaborates, telling her to prepare for a single important job down in Garai. And to explain, he shoves a newspaper in her face, pointing to the headline about Tihung Bio. Beek Seoyeon confirms she has read about the spore poison antidote, wondering what this has to do with him. He then reveals a bombshell: her father's drugstore is a subsidiary of Tihung Bio, a fact she never knew. His true motive is revealed: she must spy on her father and steal the antidote formula for his superiors. Her eyes widen in horror as the implication sinks in: he is ordering her to betray her own family. At that exact moment of crisis, her phone suddenly rings, displaying her father's name. Asking for a moment, she holds up the phone as her manager impatiently tells her to keep it brief. Composing herself, Beek Seoyeon answers the call, her voice steady despite the immense pressure. With arms crossed, the manager watches her every move, his expression growing more impatient. A calm smile on her face, she ends the call with her father, her decision seemingly made. Her superior on the phone asks if she has finally made her decision about his offer, and Beek Seoyeon stands resolute, confirming she will go to Garai to join her father. This man is pleased by her choice, but she cuts him off with a sharp however. She then flings her company ID card directly into his stunned face, announcing with a brilliant, liberated smile that she is quitting this terrible company. Turning her back, she scolds him for his arrogance and for asking her to betray family. And as the humiliated manager sputters in rage, she walks away without a second glance. This scene then shifts to Garai City, showing the new building owned by Kim Tae-ju, where our boy is overseeing the setup of their new base of operations. He turns to his team, praising them for all their hard work for the day, then dismisses Beek Chang-hoon, telling him to return to the orphanage and rest. This young swordsman protests, reminding him of his father's direct orders to be his guard. But Kim Tae-ju calmly reassigns him to protect the orphanage and the new CEO instead, arguing that no one would dare attack the city's only orphanage and face public wrath. Yet his inner thoughts betray a deeper worry, knowing the world is full of dangerous people. Kim Tae-ju waves goodbye, knowing he needs trustworthy people, especially in this town, and he thinks of his new team, the kind of allies essential for the path ahead. Once the company is established, he can finally focus on developing new medicines, a far cry from his original plan to just settle down quietly. But he smirks, admitting that earning big is not a bad thing at all. This new wealth has afforded him a luxurious home he now walks through alone, this feeling of having his own place still strange and unfamiliar to him. As he hangs his coat, his mind drifts back to the long, arduous journey here. Born a Mana reject, he was supposed to die but miraculously survived against all odds, even after his stepmother drove him into the military to be killed. Through all the hardship, he realizes his greatest gain was meeting good people, and lying on his bed, Kim Tae-ju allows himself a moment of quiet reflection. This is the foundation he has built, the starting point to stand proudly on his own. But outside in the darkness, a new threat is already making its move. A local villain leader, Ma Sang-shik, learns that this very building belongs to his next target. A local thug scoffs at the news of a newcomer buying up property like a big shot, while his associate mentions the mosquito antidote's success and the upcoming deer antidote, prompting the gang leader to strike his underling for not knowing this crucial information. He grits his teeth, wishing he could just kidnap the creator and steal the formula himself. But their orders from a Mr. Joe are clear, forcing them to proceed with the plan. With a syringe in one hand, a man carefully picks the lock to their target's room, and the entire crew then silently ascends the stairs, moving with practiced stealth. At the door, the leader issues final orders to inject their target immediately upon entry. But inside, a silhouette waits with a syringe of his own, ready to turn the tables. This man quietly approaches the door, preparing to spring his trap on the intruders. As the door opens, the thug leader lunges forward, ready to strike his unsuspecting victim. But the syringe is stopped dead in its tracks, caught just before it can make contact. A firm hand grips the attacker's wrist, completely neutralizing the surprise attack, revealing Kim Tae-ju sitting calmly with glowing eyes, waiting for them all along. This stun leader screams at his men to inject him anyway, his plan now in shambles. This stun leader realizes he cannot even move his hand, completely overpowered, while one of his underlings watches in disbelief, unable to comprehend what is happening. In a blur of motion, Kim Tae-ju vanishes, revealing he knew they were coming all along, leaving the disoriented leader looking around wildly, completely losing track of his target. Now standing behind them, Kim Tae-ju holds their syringe, mockingly stating his hatred for injections, and his men surround him, one questioning if he is truly a Mana reject as they were told. With a confident smirk, Kim Tae-ju casually twirls the syringe, wondering if swallowing it would be less effective, prompting a scarred thug to sneer, accusing him of losing his mind for taunting them. Ma Sang-shik watches in absolute horror, questioning why anyone would willingly drink the poison. But Kim Tae-ju just smiles, letting a single drop of the purple liquid fall onto his tongue. This now empty syringe clatters to the floor, its dangerous contents consumed, as purple energy crackles around him and he asks if they have any more.